Hi guys, this is going to be our first lesson that we do online. So the next packet that you guys have with you at home and that we're going to do together is all about circles. Before we can talk anything about circles, we have to learn about the parts of a circle. The first part of a circle that we're going to talk about is the center point. I'm going to call this circle with the center point A. And we're going to write down that this is the center. The center of a circle is the exact middle of the circle. The exact middle of the circle. The way we would name the center point is just point A. The next part of the circle is called a radius. The radius connects from the center point, and then it touches the outside of a circle. This is an example of one radius. I'm going to call that radius BC. And it's a segment from the center of the circle to the edge. And since it's a segment, we name that BC with a segment bar on top. And I'm going to underline that it is a segment. If we wrote line BC, we would be incorrect. What follows a radius is a diameter. And the diameter goes through the center of a circle, but it extends all the way through the circle. It could look something like this. I'm going to call this diameter DE, but there still will be a center point in the middle. I can call that A. So a diameter is a segment that goes through the center of the circle and touches the circle twice. We would name this diameter DE with a segment bar on top, or you could name it ED like we've done in the past. But since it's a segment, remember it's only the two endpoints. We don't put the A in there. And I'm going to underline that it is a segment as well. All right, let me shift my paper up a little bit. Okay, what follows a diameter is a chord, and it's spelled like chord, C-H-O-R-D, but we pronounce it chord. So I'm going to put a center point in the middle here. I'm going to call that center point H. And what a chord does is it touches the circle twice, but it doesn't have to go through the middle of the circle at the center point. This is an example of a chord. And I'm going to call that JM. So a chord is a segment that touches the circle twice. And since it's a segment, we still name it with 2 letters, the 2 endpoints, JM, with our segment bar on top. Now I want to point out, since this is still a segment, and it touches the circle twice, a diameter is actually a special type of chord. This one happens to go through the center point, but chords don't always have to go through the center point. All right, what follows a chord is something called a secant. A secant is a line. It's not a segment anymore. It's a line that goes through the circle twice. So here is an example of a secant. It's a line because we have those arrows at the end. We know it goes on forever. And I will name the secant NP. So it is a line that goes through the circle twice. And we're still going to name it with the 2 letters, NP, but on top we have our bar with our arrows to know that it is a line and not a segment. All right, I'm going to underline this time that we have a line. Actually, I'll put a bubble around it. Okay, we have our last 2. What we have now is something called a tangent. A tangent is a line outside of the circle where it touches the circle one time. This is what a tangent may look like. Do we see how the tangent is a line and it touches the circle at one point? There's other points on the tangent. I'm going to give you 2 more points. And let's name them W, X, and Y. So a tangent is a line that touches the circle once. All right, again, it's a line. And we know from the beginning of the year to name a line, you only have to pick 2 letters on this line, not 3, only 2. I'm going to pick W and Y. WY with our line on top. Remember, we could have picked WX or XY as long as it's just 2 that are on the line. Now our last part of a circle that we must know is something called a point of tangency. Point of tangency. So it relates to the picture above. So what I'm going to do is redraw my tangent. All right, I have my W, I have my Y, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make X in red to have it stand out. X is my point of tangency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like draw an arrow over here to show you that the point of tangency is where that tangent line touches the circle. This brown line touches the circle at point X. So a point of tangency is the point where the tangent touches the circle. So a point of tangency is a point. So we would call that point X, or just the letter X. So make sure that you have all of this information down on your notes, because a lot of the pages that follow in this packet, you're going to be looking back to this first page to understand what the parts of the circle are. The reason we learn about the parts of the circle is because in the rest of the unit, there's a lot of terminology that goes back to the parts of the circle. So now you'll know what each one of these terms mean, and you'll be successful when we do the rest of this packet. I'm going to upload another short video, and then I will assign you a page or two for you to work on your own. Hope you guys are hanging in there. Remember, if you run into any problems, always email me and reach out and let me know if you have any questions or if you can't access something. Just remember to always communicate with your teachers, not even just me, all of your teachers, if you can't access something, and we'll work with you. All right? All right, have a good day, guys. Miss you.